This Christian professor destroys atheism in 7 minutes. Check this out.
Let me ask you this question, which is, why are you so interested in this biblical story as opposed to any other biblical story?
Well, that is because, first of all, Jesus believed in the flood model, and it's the basis for the entire authenticity of the Bible. If you can prove that the Genesis story is false, you have destroyed the entire belief system on which Christianity is based. So that's why we use this model to show people that Noah's Ark was real and that the story is true.
Well, couldn't the story have been symbolic, metaphor for other kinds of events that took place? How about creation? Couldn't that have been symbolic or metaphorical in the language that's there?
Well, it is possible, but when we look at the 4 postulates of creation and we compare them with the 4 postulates of evolution, only the postulates of creation have been observed. Evolution is based on 4 major ideas. None of them have ever been observed. Number 1, that life comes from non-life. We have not one single example of life coming from non-life. Number 2, that all the life forms that we have today came from single-cell life forms. Many people do not know that while we do have single-cell life forms that we call bacteria, we have no 2-celled life forms. We don't have 3-cell life forms. We don't have 4-cell life forms. We don't even have 5-cell life forms.
I just got to pause that there. When I first heard this, I heard this a while back. That blew my mind. We don't have 2-cell life forms. We don't have 3-cell life forms. We don't have 4-cell. We don't have 5-cell life forms.
So we just have one.
We've literally we've got bacteria, and then we've got like us.
Oh, is that what he means?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to figure out.
So they were like, it started with a little cell, and then the cell made 2, and then 3, and then it grew, and then it became a fish. It became a blob of.
Oh wow!
Became a tadpole, and then
sure,
you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like,
if you put it like that, yeah. So it's bacteria.
Bacteria,
and
one cell, and then boom.
This human, this whatever
life.
It is, life. Yes.
Plants,
yes.
fish, everything. There's no like 2, 3, 4, 5. There's nothing.
Yeah.
Hey? Did you even know that?
No.
How crazy is that?
Go from single-cell bacteria to complex life forms. So there's no evidence that all life comes from single-cell life forms. The third postulate of evolution is that time and chance drive evolution forward, of course, and time works against evolution. The chance of one simple 100-unit protein coming together by accident this is a very big number. Time and chance make evolution absolutely impossible. The 4th postulate that evolution is based on is that what we see today, minor genetic variation.
That's basically what evolutionists and that say. It's like, well, if you had enough time, but over billions of years, it will happen. But it doesn't. It's because the conditions have to be so perfect for so long, and it's just so the longer that it, the sort of cells and the bonding and all the scientific stuff, the more impossible it is to actually happen.
And doesn't it? Everything changes the older it gets. Everything becomes weaker as time
goes. Yeah, like things decay. I guess you could say decay.
That's the word.
Minor genetic variation in species is evidence of macroevolution. So because cats are different colors, dogs are different sizes, that means that fish turned into cows. And of course, we know that that's not true because Mendel proved that all the genes that exist today, you can shuffle them around, but there are no new genes that were created. Let's think about the 4 major postulates of creation. Number 1, where there's a design, there must be a designer. We see codes in DNA. Codes are evidence of intelligence because you have to translate from one language to another. We have not a single example of that happening by accident. Number 2, that the Earth, the solar system, the universe, and the galaxy are young, measured in thousands.
Codes in DNA, right? It's like, I guess, a computer program, right? There's codes, and it has to be created. It has to be literally written in a certain way. Because if you just take that code and just jumble it up, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Even in a computer program, if you just keep, it's not going to get better. It's just getting worse and worse and further away from actually something, like tangible or whatever. So yeah, there's code, and the code has to be put together specifically and intelligently. It has to be put together intelligently.
I heard somewhere before that if you take a book, there's words, but a book's written. There's an author. There's a book doesn't just magically appear together, taking words and you throw it, and then it needs to be.
Yeah, so each letter has to go together with each word, and each word has to go together with each to make a sentence, and the sentence has to form, like a paragraph.
So if a book has an author,
and a book is so simple compared to DNA.
How much? Hey? No, you need to really
faith. You have to have big faith to be an atheist. Okay, let's carry on here. Let's have a look.
Many times people ask me, them say, well, Major, you believe in a young earth, a 6,000-year earth. Can you show me that that's true without using the Bible? And I say, absolutely. What's the oldest living thing on the planet? The oldest living thing on the planet? Trees. How old are the oldest trees? 4,500 years. That takes us back almost exactly to the year of the flood, okay, in 2,500 BC.
Remarkable.
Number two, I'm saying, look at the sky. We call solar nebulae. A solar nebula is what we see from a supernova when a star explodes. It leaves a gas cloud. Because of our radio telescopes that we have now today, we can look deep into space and we can actually count the number of solar nebulae that are there. And how many are there? A supernova takes place about once every 26 years. How many solar nebulae do we have? 6,000 years worth. That's impossible in a universe that is billions and billions of years old. And we have other evidences such as alpha decay that we do in our program that most people don't understand that also shows that the earth is 6,000 years old. So that's the second postulate that proves that the biblical story of creation is true.
That is very interesting. I was always going with that story, 6,000 years. I was like, okay, 6,000 years, we have to make it make sense. But I have heard other theories in the Bible that could suggest, and that's the thing. you can make a point for the earth being older, even in the Bible.
Yes, I also thought 6,000 years, but lately we've been hearing
could be older, and you can kind of show it in the Bible.
Yeah,
But that was interesting about the nebulas. That's like, I don't even know what the heck.
No, what is that? I don't even know what these oaks are. That's why I feel very, very stupid when I listen to these things.
Life that we see today are the basic kinds of animals and plant life that were originally created. So we can test that. You can breed dogs, you can breed cats, but you can't breed cats with dogs. So there are limits to how far we can go. And lastly, that is, Earth experienced a worldwide flood in approximately 2500 BC, 1656 years after the world was created. The world is filled with limestone. Limestone is sedimentary rock. It precipitates out of water. The entire earth was filled with water. Every mountain chain in the world, including Everest, has sea life on top of that mountain. The mountains rose out of the water, so we know that there was a worldwide flood.
Let me pose a question to you, and Mark and Lise, feel free to jump in this. And that is this. Most people who don't believe in God aren't card-carrying members of the atheist club. They haven't studied molecular biology.
Yes.
Why don't they believe in God? What is the struggle there?
Neil, I'm going to tell you, that's a very good question. My answer to that is probably because most of them has not actually seen the evidence that supports the Bible. And that is my job, to actually show them. You're right. Most people are somewhere drifting, somewhere in the middle. This is a war for ideas. And it's my job to combat these forces of error, particularly in secular campuses, in universities, which is where I work and teach, and show that the evidence supports God's word. God is a God of science.
Sea life found on the top of Mount Everest. That's crazy.
Very cool.
Hey, what are the chances?
No, well, that's the thing. If
the chances are there must have been a flood, or
there must have been
covered
a flood.
in waterways.
Yeah, there must have been.
Wow.
And the Bible is true. We know that. So if people like this go, there should be evidence. Didn't they find the ark, also where the ark is buried or whatever? In Turkey, yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scientists that do believe in God and they can show you where it is. So you're either completely blind or you don't know that this evidence actually points to the Bible.
Yeah. If you believe in the Bible, people are like, you're a moron. You believe in the Bible. But what's happening now, I think there's like about 1,500 professors and scholars who basically signing a petition to say they disagree with evolution. I guess the scientific understanding is that we need a new model other than evolution. And people are still out there, like flipping, dying on that hill saying, no, evolution. We were taught evolution. We know it's the truth, and it's not the truth. It's not. And like, you know, Christians, we've been mocked for going like, no, we don't believe in this stuff.
Yeah.
And it's starting to look like actually we could be right. Because I mean, another thing that was discovered, this was actually discovered a while ago. So with our DNA, because now we're starting to understand DNA, we're starting to see what DNA is in that. But in 1987, they analyzed mitochondrial DNA and concluded that all living humans can trace their mitochondrial DNA back to a single woman.
Wow.
How mad is that?
No ways.
Hey? So a single woman. Then, in the early 90s, and I think this went through to the 2000s, Y chromosome DNA was analyzed, showing that all men share a common paternal ancestor. So literally, they've discovered through DNA that it's one man and one woman. So how the heck does that tie in with evolution?
No.
Like now all of a sudden Adam and Eve starts to look like it makes sense. And I mean, even when I was an atheist, I used to think, well, not an atheist, whatever I was, the weird beliefs that I had, I used to think like Adam and Eve was just like a stupid fairy tale, and like if you believe that, you're a moron. So like if you actually look at science, if you believe in evolution, you're a moron.
You're a moron.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was just thinking as you were saying that, I remember you thinking, and that's the thing, people, atheists, think Christians are dumb. But there's people that's maybe have
but
more
you believe
degrees,
in evolution.
but have more degrees than you that think there's a God.
Yeah.
So where's the line?
So we evolved from monkeys, okay? And as we evolved, this is the theory. As we evolved, the stronger sort of genes and the stronger people took over, and then the other ones died out, and then we were eventually humans, right? And you've got like chimpanzees and you got humans, and all of these ones died out because the strongest one survived. But why is the weakest one still alive? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why is the chimpanzee still there?
Yes.
Like, shouldn't that have died out? Like, all of these died out, but not this one.
This one.
and this one, because it's rubbish. It's just rubbish. If you believe in evolution, actually,
once you become saved,
they still
you
teach
realize
it in school.
That's the thing. Once you get saved, you realize how dumb you actually are when you thought you were so clever.
I know, that's crazy.
And science is, we discover that's already there.
We're just discovering science is just the explanation of what God has already created.
Yes,
it's just the explanation of God's creation.
There we go.
And I mean, you know, if you look at some of the greatest scientists throughout history, they were Christians. You know, I mean, Newton, people like that. I'm not going to go through a list, but yeah.
I know nothing about this.
Cool. So, anyway, guys, the Bible is real. The Bible's the truth, and we need to expose the lies and, you know,
point people to
the way, the truth, and the life, Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah. So make sure you've liked, you subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Cheers.
Bye.